The country's plan is to have renewable energy provide 40 to 45% of its generation by 2025 and 80% by 2050, up from 30% in 2025, and to shutter all of its nuclear units by 2022. Germany's need to find new sources of power is imperative. In 2011, following the Fukushima disaster in Japan, Germany took the decision to shut down all its nuclear reactors. Up until then, a quarter of its power came from nuclear. However, replacing nuclear power with renewable energy has proven difficult, mainly due to the intermittency of wind and solar power. When wind and solar are not available to generate electricity, German power buyers turn to coal. In fact, the country opened over 10 gigawatts of new coal-fired power plants over the past 5 years. Despite the large increase in solar and wind power, many say Germany is likely to miss its 2020 target to reduce its greenhouse gas emissions by 40% below 1990 levels. Its carbon dioxide emissions increased in 2016 to 906 million tons, compared to 902 million in 2015. The German Environment Agency says the trend is due to the transport sector. The figures stood in contrast with Germany's image as a frontrunner in the transition towards clean energy. For the energy vendor, its energy transmission plan to succeed, experts have warned that Germany will have to do much more. It will have to get off gasoline and diesel too. The transportation sector produces about 17% of the country's emissions. The government's goal is to have 1 million electric cars on the road by 2020. So far, there are about 40,000. The basic problem is that the cars are still too expensive for most Germans.
Recently, I read that at the Shanghai Motor Show, VW proudly announced to deliver 400,000 e-vehicles annually to China by 2020. VW only. I would wish such a commitment for the German market. Then we would have fewer problems with our climate goals and the air quality in our cities. That is why I reaffirmed my support for the ambitious e-mobility goal of the federal government. Of course, it is a major challenge to produce 1 million e-cars by 2020. And of course, we are not yet right on track. But to give up this goal would be the wrong signal. The wrong signal, not only for the environment and climate, but also for Germany's automotive industry. For the location Germany, we want to remain or to become leading provider and market for e-mobility. You cannot separate those goals because respective development and production capacities for the future technology e-mobility will only be built in Germany and Europe when the market here is large enough. If not, those capacities, also from the German car manufacturers, are mainly developed in Asia. Our experiences in the past with different technologies showed that it is difficult to correct such decisions for a location at a later stage. So we need a strong home market for e-mobility, that Germany will remain a leading country in car manufacturing.
Germany's energy transition brings in intermittent renewable energy to replace its retiring nuclear units. Coal, particularly lignite, is indigenous to Germany and supplies the majority of its power, despite the dramatic growth in the country's wind and solar power industry. Apart from the coal usage, on the 30th of April 2017, the country established a new national record for renewable energy use. During the long weekend of the 1st of May, 85% of all the electricity consumed in Germany was being produced from renewables such as wind, solar, biomass, and hydroelectric power. The new renewable record in Germany continues a trend. Liberosa Solar Farm, also in Brandenburg, is the biggest solar power plant in Germany. It has a capacity of 70.8 megawatts with 1 million solar panels. The solar park supplies electricity for 15,000 households a year. So far in 2017, renewable energy has consistently been a significant source of electrical power in Germany. In March of this year, over 40% of all electricity consumed in the country was provided by renewable sources. The challenge is sustaining this trend.
Talking about energy transition, you have to do some simple math, and this means you have to also look in some basic physics. And one of the things you have to look at is the amount of full operating hours per year. Let's say we have there a fossil fuel power plant and we want to replace it in the future with renewables. We need to calculate how much electricity output do we have from a fossil fuel power plant and how much electricity output do we have from a renewable power plant. Yeah, as simple as that. Basically, hours of sunlight is certainly something you would like to consider setting up a solar power plant, but looking at our circumstances here in Germany and look at a day like today, you see we're not that sort of well off compared to Nigeria.
Germany has been investing heavily in renewables as part of the government energy vendor initiative to transition away from fossil fuels and nuclear power to a low-carbon, environmentally sound, reliable and affordable energy supply by 2050.